Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and a puzzle today called Horcrux by Listesh. And that name, well, it takes me back to, do you know what we called it? We called it our second Sudoku hunt. If you are on Patreon and you're recent, by which I just mean you joined in the last 2 years, as almost everybody did, you might want to go back to June 2020 and look up our second Sudoku hunt. It's a long time ago, but it was a very good hunt, very popular. It is, I think, it's in CTC's Greatest Hits. It's in the book if you have that. So, that was fun. That was so long ago. I was scrolling back through Patreon to find out when it was, and there were so many entries. We have put out so much content since then. It's fascinating. I just didn't realize it was so much. Having been involved with all of that content, it just seemed immense. Anyway, that is a big advert for our Patreon. Do consider joining it. There's always stuff going on. The latest post was a vicious cryptic crossword. You can also check out our apps as well. I mean, loads of great content there. We have plans for new apps in the works as well. We are working on them at the moment, and loads going on, frankly, all the time. So check out Discord as well, and Sven's SUDOKU PAD, and our merchandise, all in the links under the video. Having problems with our store page at the moment, but you can reach the merchandise through the links. Anyway, let's have a look at Horcrux by Listesh, who is a brilliant constructor, has been probably also constructing puzzles that we've featured for the last 2 years too, it feels like. And always they seem to have an absolute touch of brilliance. So we expect no less, no pressure. Normal Sudoku rules apply. A number outside the grid shows the sum of the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So in this column, there must be a 1 and a 9 somewhere, and they might be, say, there and there. The digits between them add up to 22. A purple line, these are Renban lines, contains a set of consecutive digits in any order without repeats. So those digits could be 5, 6, and 7, for instance, in some order. Right, and that's all we get. Now, I know from constructing Sandwich Sudoku that this is a very few number of clues. And those are very few Renban lines as well. So I'm not guessing that this is going to be easy. And Listesh puzzles rarely are, but they always, always are rewarding. So do consider giving it a go on the link under the video. I am going to start now. So let's get cracking. Okay, one thing you can do, there's almost nothing that you can do straight away here, but one thing I like to do is mark cells green, well, red if I know that they're where the crusts of these sandwiches are, the 1 and the 9, and green if I know that they can't be there. And I do know that these two cells can't have a 1 or 9 in. And the way that I know that is because if you did have a crust here, a 1 or a 9, then there's only room to have 3 sandwich cells. And given that the highest cell in a sandwich can be an 8, they would have to be 8, 7, and 6 at the maximum. And that only adds up to 21. So 22 is a very specific total that is the first number at which you can mark the center of the row or column as not having a 1 or 9 in. So I'm going to do that. This grid now looks even more like a clown face than it did before. I have a feeling the first ever, maybe second Listesh puzzle we did really was a Joker clown face. This one just looks a bit like it to me. Now, okay, this is quite an insight. And I don't know if this is how you're meant to progress the next step. I rather suspect it is, since there's so little else in the puzzle. But these 3 rows of 9s are very interesting together. They obviously occupy the same 3 boxes. Now, why are they interesting? And the answer is because 9 as a sandwich is always 2 cells with one exception. The reason it can't be fewer than 2 cells is because the biggest digit you can put in a sandwich is an 8. So you have to have 2 digits at least. Now the one exception is if you have 3 digits in a 9 sandwich, they have to be the 3 minimum digits, 2, 3 and 4. And what I know is that one of these rows and columns has 2, 3 and 4 as its minimum 3-cell sandwich, and that they're in the middle box. Now, how do I know that? Well, you have to consider where the red cells will go. If they're always 3 cells apart, as they have to be if you didn't have any 3-cell sandwiches, then you're never going to get 6 of them, 2 into each box, which is obviously what 1 and 9 have to occupy. There's 1, 1 and 1, 9 in each row and each box. So obviously 2 in each row and 2 in each box. Now, if you were to try and put them... Okay, let me put it this way. They must always bridge one of these thick lines. They must always bridge between 2 boxes. They always must if you are having 2-cell sandwich or a 3-cell sandwich. If you put red as far as you can on the left, then the next red is going to have to be in the next box. So the red cells are always 1 box apart, except in the very odd case of the 3-cell sandwich, which allows them to be 2 boxes apart. And the interesting thing about these 3 rows is they can't all have 1 box apart red cells, or there'd always be a red cell in the middle box, and that would be 3 red cells in the middle box, which is too many. So one of these rows must not have any cells in the middle box, and must therefore have a 2, 3, 4 sandwich in that with the red cells there and there, or there and there. So we obviously know they're not there because we've made those green. So the red cells either in row 4 are both there, or in row 6, are both there. Now it doesn't tell me much about the other red cells in these rows, but it does tell me about the red cells in these columns. There is one in one of those 2 cells. Now, we know that we worked out earlier that the minimum length of the sandwich in these columns is 4 cells. So if you had a red cell here, you would have to have one here. If you had one here, you'd have to have one here. One here, you'd have to have one here. One here, you'd have to have one here. So I'm going to mark those as possible red cells. And now these ones in the rest of the columns, they're definitely green. No sandwich crusts there. Oh, of course, right. I was first of all thinking we've got a sort of X-wing of red cells, but that's not right. That's not right, because one of these is a 2, 3, 4 triple. And if it was, yeah, so these red cells come as a pair in either row 4 or row 6. And that means the red cells come as a pair in row 9 or row 1. But they cannot come as a pair in row 1, because we've worked out 9 is the minimum 3-cell sandwich. So that couldn't be the sandwich in row 1. Therefore, these cannot be the crust cells. And therefore, these are crust cells with a 2, 3, 5 sandwich making the 10. There's only one way to do that. And these are now not crust cells. And we've got 4 of the crusts in this puzzle. We've done it. Well, we haven't finished the puzzle, not quite, but we have established some facts, some cells where 1 and 9 must be. So not only that, 1 and 9 must be there. We now know this is a group of 2, 3, 4, and this is a group of 2, 3, 5. Now this Renban, okay, it is possible. Yeah, certainly there's more than one possibility. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, so I can't colour it. It must be consecutive with these 2 digits. Down here, okay, these cells, they can't be 1s because they see a 1, 9 pair in their columns. So they are also 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Actually, they can't be 5 because of these Renbans, because this cell can't be a 4 or a 6. So they are 2, 3, 4, or 6, I reckon. Oh, and this Renban, right, it doesn't have 2, 3, or 5 on it. So it's selected from 6, 7, 8, and 9. and it must have 7 and 8 on it, and I'm going to pencil mark all of that because I can. 7 and 8 in the corners mean that's where they're restricted to in this box, and the candidates here must include, well, can only be from 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now these add up to 22, right? We can use the secret, which is that each row, column and box adds up to 45 in a Sudoku. And that means that apart from the crust cells in a column, which always add up to 10, say, all the green cells add up to 35, which is 45 minus 1 and 9. And if we know that the sandwich here is 22, these 3 cells add up to 13. Same is true here. And that's actually not very helpful. It's not a sum I care about. Now, what about this 8 sandwich? Don't really know, but I do know that one of its cells is in the middle box. One of its crusts. Possibly even both. They could both be there. With an 8 in between. But because of the position of these green cells, we can't have 2 crusts here. I mean, they can't involve these places, so at least one of them's in this box. Crikey, I've got very little else. Right, these are from 4, 6, 7 and 8. These are from 5, 6, 7 and 8. I don't know what's going on with those. 1 and 4 have to be in these cells. Doesn't seem very helpful. The symmetry is interesting in this puzzle. It's really only broken by these 2 Renbands. Oh, okay. I'm being daft here. Right. Oh my goodness. Okay, this cell is much more restricted than 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I've been very slow to understand that. It cannot. Oh, that's brilliant. Right. It can't be what any of these 3 are. It can't be these cells because it shares a set of consecutive digits with them without repeats. So it can't be the same as those. And it can't be this one because it's in column 5 as well. So it can't be any of these 3 cells. And that is an extreme cell on this Renban. It's either 1 or 5. Now, I don't know its colour yet, but maybe I do know if it was a 1, then the 9 sandwich would have to be in these 2 cells. It couldn't be in all these 3 because there'd have to be 2, 3, 4. So if that's a 1, there's a 9 here. Oh, I don't know. That's annoying. Do I know that this is in the sandwich? I don't know. What do I know about the 9 sandwich here? I know now. Yes, now I know that it's 2 cells long. I do know that because it can't be 2, 3, 4 anywhere, because that would have to include this cell, and it can't run down here, and it can't run through this cell, which can't be 2, 3, 4. So the sandwich length in this column is only 2 cells. Therefore, the crusts are 3 apart, are 3 cells apart. So this can't be a crust. And this can't be a crust. Yes, it could. If that was a 1, it could be. Okay, was that? Oh no, look. If this was a crust, yes, this is one of the things we've considered. We could have 5, 4, and we couldn't have that because 5 is going to need 4 on the Renban. So this is not a crust. Now, if this isn't a crust, then the 2 crusts are here. 9 here, 1 here, and these would be... They could be anything, couldn't they? 5... Oh, wait, no, they couldn't be anything for a weird, weird reason. It's because of this. Oh, of course, look, we've got a 235 triple there and a 234 triple here. And that means none of these cells can be 2 or 3. They've been used up for the boxes. So if those were the crusts, 1 and 9, you'd have to put 4, 5 here as the way to make up the 9 sandwich, and that would clash with this because you'd have a 1 and you'd have a 1 specifically here. If you put a 4, 5 here, this has no fill. So this is not where the sandwich is, and there's nowhere else left for it to be other than these 2 cells with crusts here and here. That is so deep and clever in this column. So that is now a crust, and it's therefore not a 5. It's a 1. We get a 9 here. These on the Renban with the 1 are 2 and 3. That's a 4. That makes the sandwich use a 5. This is not a 5. So there's a 5 on one of these. Don't know what that means. Well, it means one of these is a 4 or 6. That's not very helpful yet. This is not a 9. Oh, and this can't be 2 or 3 because they're in those cells, or 1, 4, 5, 9. Right, so that's 6, 7, or 8, and this is a quadruple now, leaving us with a 1, 4 pair here, which takes 4 off these Renban cells, and means one of them is definitely a 6 to go with the 5 that must be in one of these down here. Right, now what else have we got going in the middle column? Not much. One of these is from 6, 7, 8, and the other is 2 or 3. Now, these 2 can't both be red now because we've already got one red in the box. So this cell is not in the sandwich in row 1 because it can't be an 8 or they'd both be red, and it can't be part of a 3-cell sandwich, which it would be if either of these was green to be part of the sandwich. It would join up to those. So the sandwich in row 1 is either that pair or that pair, and I can actually mark these as green now. Now, so one of these 2 is a 9, and one of these corners is a 1. The 9 is forming an X-wing with a 9 down here, and that's not actually any use. I still know these add up to 13 in both cases. I haven't considered the 9s in this row and this. Oh, look, yes, we've got this. Right, so these are green. Yeah, here we go. These are green because we know that all of these have 2-cell sandwiches since they can't be 2, 3, 4 anymore. So one of these is red and is a 1 specifically. One of these is a 1 as well, and that is going to have a 9 on the perimeter somewhere. And it's going to have a sandwich that is either 2, 7 or 3, 6, because it can't be 5, 4 anymore. I don't know any difference between those as possibilities. Bother. Now, up here, one of these is either 2, 6 or 3, 5. Sorry, eons of silence go by as I vaguely consider what on earth is going on. These have to come from 6, 7 or 8. And one side or the other, they have a 3 or a 2 in this cell. I don't know which side, but whichever side is the sandwich side gets a 2 or a 3 here, and there must be a 2 or a 3 here as well. Oh, let's have a think about these 13 sums. Right. Okay, I've made a mistake earlier that I think I'm about to fix. I claimed that these had to be 2-cell sums, and that was based in some way on this not being able to be an 8, and that's nonsense. So let's take that, let's take that out as an idea. That was absolute tripe. So what I was thinking for some reason was the sandwich sum had to be 2 cells, but that's not true. The sandwich sum could be 1 cell in one of those 2 positions with a 9 here and a 1 here, say. So we're back to that. However, I weirdly think I'm now going to prove that's not right because of these adding up to 13. So if you had an 8 in one of these cells, then these other 2 below it would have to be a 2 and a 3. Oh no, I thought... No, I'm sorry, I'm not... Oh, okay, I can't rely on this. I thought there has to be a 2 or a 3 in one of these cells. Yeah. Oh no. Oh bother. Okay, sorry. I was thinking if you had 8, 3, 2 here and you couldn't put 2 or 3 in those cells, is that a problem? But actually you could put 2 and 3 in those cells, make up the sum here. Yeah, it's fine. Bother. And if you have an 8, 3, 2, you have a 6 here. Okay, there's no problem with that. Okay, I need to think again then. We have a 1 in one of these 2, and we have a 9 on the perimeter. So these, again, they're either... Is this important? They're either 2, 7 or 3, 6 to make the 9 sum in 2 cells. I may be missing something completely here, but I don't know what it is, and I apologize if I am. The trouble is these don't have to be from 2 or 3 because the 2 or 3 for the sandwich sum could be in one of these 2. Especially as it would then successfully potentially connect with the 2 or 3 here. That's fine. Okay, that's nonsense. Right, come on, Mark. What have we got to go on? Almost nothing, it feels like. So, 8 in the top. I mean, I've used so many of these clues already. There aren't many more left. Maybe I need to think. Oh, this has got a 9 on, definitely. Yeah, there we go. This Renban has definitely got a 9 on. So it doesn't have a 6 on. It's 987, and this is a 6. And one of these is 2 or 3, and the other is 7 or 8, and I don't know what that does either. 6, 6, 6, or 6, 6, 6, the number of the beast. Okay, that hasn't done anything. That's a discovery, and it's done nothing. Oh, come on. Okay, think about these 8s. So if we had an 8 here, or more freely here, 8, 2, 3 there, that's going to push... Oh, hang on. Right, both of these have to have either a 2 or a 3 in. Yes, 13. You cannot make it up with 4, 5, 6 because that adds up to 15. So there is a 2 or a 3 in each of those. Now, I'm counting the 2s and 3s in columns 3 and 7. There's 1 there at least. There's 1 there at least. That's a minimum of 2. There's got to be 1 in one of these places, because the 9 sum is made up with a high digit next to the 9 and a low digit in one of these 2, a 2 or a 3. So that's 3 of the numbers 2 or 3. There must be 1 in these cells as well, and that's all 4. And that means we can't have a 5th one going in one of these pairs by being 8, 3, 2. So there is no 8 in these cells. And actually we get a weird swordfish of 8s the 8s in rows 5, 6 and 7, there must be 3 of them, because there's 1 in one of those areas. Is this right? I don't know. No, I'm not. I don't know that that's right. Never mind about the swordfish. That's nonsense. But these are not 8, 3, 2. Therefore, neither of these can be 8. Therefore, I can get back to the theory I had earlier that we must have a 2-cell sandwich sum in this row, and there's a 1 in a corner. And I mean, it was doing nothing for me earlier, but at least now it's true. Well, it was true. I just didn't understand it before. Now, there must be a 2 or a 3. So what are the possible? And no 8. So we've either got 7, 4, 2, 6, 4, 3, or 6, 5, 2. Well, there's a 6 in one of these cells, so its top 3 cells, say the 6 was here, the top 3 there must be 2, 4, 7. They mustn't have a 6 or an 8 in. Then you'd have 3, 5, 8 in this group. And I don't know which side this happens on, but it happens one side or the other. Now on the other side, yeah, but you can have a 3 here. So let's just keep hold of this idea. Wherever there's a 6, there's a 2, 4, 7 above it. Just notice that neither the 4 nor the 7 could appear in the 8 sum, but that's probably by the by. Wherever there's a 6 down here, there's a 2, 4, 7 above it. Oh, hang on, this is... Yes, I have not thought about the sandwich sum in these cells. Is that important? I don't know. You don't have to have a 2 in these groups, do you? They could be 6, 4, 3. Then that could be the 2. 1, 9. Then you'd have 5, 7, 8 here. Oh, there's a lot of pressure all round. This can't be 5, 7, 8 on the side where we're making the 9 sandwich. Right, so wherever the sandwich is here, the 1 is on that side. Now that means the sandwich in row 5 is on the other side. So it would have to be over here because you couldn't have another 9 in this cell. Oh, right. Okay, these 2 sandwiches, whether they're there in row 6 and 5 or there, are the same cells. And that's because you've got to put either a 2 or a 3 in one of these cells. It's going to it's going to go with a 2 or a 3 up there. And then the only place for the 2 or the 3 in row 5 is going to be in the sandwich on the other side. So whichever number it is in this sandwich, be it 2 or a 3 to go with a 6 or a 7, it's going to be the same sandwich in row 5. And the 6, am I right that the 6 can't be in this cell? No. No, I know where I'm right. The low digit can't be in that cell. So there is going to be a 6. This is crazy. Okay, I've got it. So I hope you followed my logic here, that if the sandwich is this side, the other sandwich is this side. Whatever's in here, be it 2 or a 3, is mirrored there and has to also appear in this sandwich this side. Now that's interesting. Or maybe it's only interesting if it's a 6. No, it's not. Whether it's a 3 or a 2, it's going to appear here. say, if the sandwich is this side. That's one of the 3 or 2s. There's got to be one there. There's got to be one there. There's going to have to be one here now, because they're used up for that column. So this will be the 6. They're going to be used up for this column. So there's never a 2 or a 3 here. So whatever the low digit is here, whether it's a 2 or a 3, going with a 6 or a 7 here to make the sandwich, that low digit is on the outside here, because it can't be in columns 3 or 7 anymore, because we've used up the 2s and 3s there. So the inner number is going to be a 6 or a 7. And now we're having problems with the 6s and 7s. It could be a 6 to go with a 6 down here, making an X-wing, if both of these were 2, 4, 7. Or it could be a 6 one side and a 7 the other. Then you could have 6, 4, 3 or 6, 5, 2 and 2, 4, 7. And have I not got any more than that? Okay, well I do know. No, I don't. I was going to say I know that 8 is now an X-wing here. I don't know that. I was also wondering if I knew 6 was an X-wing here. I don't even know that. Oh, I'm so close here. I need to keep thinking about exactly this. I'm sure that's right. One of these is 2, 4, 7. Definitely. Maybe both, but one of them is. And that is going with a 6 down here, because that's what's forcing them to be 2, 4, 7. Then we get 3, 5, 8 here, and that could be a 3 from... Oh, so the 2, 4, 7... So if this was 6 and this was 2, 4, 7 up here, that's making this 3 or 2 and this... Oh yeah, that's interesting. Right. If this is the 6 side with 2, 4, 7 up here, this is 2 or 3 and there's another one of those up here. So this can't be 2 or 3 anymore. And so this sandwich in the middle, in row 6, is on the same side as the 6. And we've just worked out it must be from 3, 5, 8. And therefore it's a 3. Therefore the one of these that is forming the sandwich is a 6. And one of these cells is a 3. And the sandwich is a 3, 6. And that is either here or here as well, because it's a repeated sandwich in rows 6 and 5. And it's repeated on the other side with the higher digit in the middle. So one of these is a 6 and one of these is a 3. And on this Renban, we either have a 3 this side or a 3 that side now. So that's from 2, 3 and 4, whichever side the sandwiches are going. That's therefore green. That doesn't mean it. Actually, this is green as well. It doesn't matter which side the sandwich is. I've known that for ages without realizing I knew it. Oh, it's so close now. Come on, come on, come on, Mark. Right, if that's a 6 and that's a 3, this can't be... Hang on. Oh no, this could be low. If it was 6... No, if that's a 6, then you get 6, 3 over here. That's a 3. Now this can't be 2, because if that's a 6, we get a 2 or a 3 down here and a 2 or a 3 up here. So if that's a 6 and that's a 3, this is a 4. Otherwise, this is a 3. This can't be 2 anymore. I don't know that that does anything. And is this the disambiguating Renban, or is it this one? Ah, Grimes, I don't know. Can't quite work out which side is which here. I should be able to now. If that's 6, 3, you get a 3 here and a 6 here. Then you've got 3s in these positions. Still don't know whether this one ends up, well, this is a 6 now. Because that's a 6, yes, that's right. So then you'd get 2, 4, 7 up here. So if this is a 6, you get 2, 4, 7 here, and this has to be a 3. And that becomes a 6 accordingly. If this is a 6, you get 2, 4, 7 up here. It's the same deal, isn't it? That becomes a 3, and that's the 6. 2, 4, 3, 5, 9. Imagine if this is a red herring and not how you get through. I'm just so certain it is right. And I can't quite encapsulate what's going on. 2, 4, 7, no, 6 here would give 2, 4, 7 up here. That would give a 3 here. This would have to be 8, and this would be 5. Six here is a bit less constrained because of the Rembrandt. 2, 4, 7 there. Yeah, I don't know quite how the 3, 5, 8 would fall out down here as a result. I'm missing something. What am I missing? This is hurting now. Just not quite getting this. Listesh has kept it right on the edge of my brain's understanding, and it's not getting there. I mean, I could be missing something big that follows from the 2 cells up here, or these pairs of 13. Like, maybe they can't both be 2, 4, 7, or they can't both have a 2. Maybe that really is a thing. One of these must be a 3. But down here, the other side, you don't have to have a 3. You could have a 2. Does 6 here have to go with 3 here? Yes, it does. Whichever side is 6 down here has a 3, 2 cells above. And 2, 4, 7 up here. And indeed 8, 3, 5. All the way down it must go 8, 3, 5. 8, 3, 5. So one of these has a 2, 4, 7 triple. The 1, 9 pair are there. Then it goes 8, 3, 5, 6 in exactly that order. And on the other side... What on the other side? Then you have a 2 or a 3 here. And a 2 or a 3 in the group up here. Two, 3, 1, 9. So you've got cells from 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know what to do with that. There must be a way. I can almost feel a way through this. Oh, whoa. We said this would be 8, 3, 5, 6. That would put the 6, 3 over here, this side. And that could still, that's at liberty to be 2 and 4, 2 or 4. This tiny little Renban looks so significant somehow. If that was a 4, then this isn't the 6, 2, 4, 7 side. Then we've got, oh, then we've got 2 and 3. That if this is a 4, what is this? It's going to have to be 6, 5, 2, 4, 3, 8, and 7 in some order. Hmm, 6, 5, 2. If one of these is 6, 5, 2, we've got a 3 down here. I can't see why not. Oh, crumbs. Come on, Mark, keep working. I just feel we're close now. One of these at least is 247. It doesn't have to be the side with the 8 sandwich in the top row, sadly. Sixes are either there and there and there, or the equivalent positions on the other side. Oh, is that right? Oh, this is very significant. Yes, 6 has to be in one of those cells. We've worked that out because of these have to be 3, 6. And 6 is in one of these two cells, so they are an X-wing. And these can't be 652 or 643, and they are both 247. That's been staring me in the face for 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we got there. Sincere apologies. Right, that's a 3. This is a 6. I mean, we're there now. I'd done all the work. I just hadn't set up the open goal, just hadn't tapped it in. So that's a 5. This is not a 5. That is 2 or 3. This is also 2 or 3. It's not a 6. In fact, it's not 2 because that's 247. So 3 there, 2 there, 3, 5. Imagine if this just completely folds up and collapses now, which I don't think it will, but imagine. 247, 1963, 8 and 5. Now that 3 is part of the sandwich. The sandwich is then over here as 6-3 as well. That's part of what we learned earlier. That's not a 6. This is part of a 7-8 pair in the central box. No, there's an 8 there, so that's hardly a pair. This is all just going. That's not a 7 and that's not an 8. This is a 2-4 pair at the end on the left. These, oh, that's a 9 now. These crusts are done. Good. Those can't have an 8 in anymore. And that can't be a 6. It's 5 or 7. 2, 4, 7, 1, 6, 5 and 8. They go in this column. It looks like it's still working. Those can't be 5, 6. They're a 7-8 pair. That's a 2-4 pair. This is now a 7, and 7 isn't up here. Right, now, one of these is the 8 sandwich and doesn't have a 4 or a 7 in. So one side is 6, 2. And I don't know which. There's a 6 in one of those and a 2 in one of those. And that's not a 2 now. And the 2 in the central column is here. So those aren't 2s. And there's a little 2 X-wing going on here. In this 247 triple. I mean, that's not very interesting. What about this? Can't be a 1. It doesn't even look interesting. Now I've done, okay, let's color up again, at least in the rows where we've got the clues. So I've got the 1 and 9 in rows 4, 5, 6. In fact, I've got all the 1s and 9s apart from up here, where I still just don't know. Okay, come on. We must be getting close now. 5, 3, 2, 4. I'm just going to colour those green for completeness in those rows. Right. Ah, yes, I've got a 1 looking at this cell. 4 there, 1 there. In fact, no, they're not done. 2 and 3 are done. 3, 1, 8, 4, 2. How's this not over? I don't understand. No, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it's such a relief to have broken through that business of the 6s. It's just by highlighting the 2 possible areas for 6s that I finally realised we had established a 6 X-wing. Anyway, stop talking about the past. Think about the present. It's a gift. 2, 4, 7. Don't know. I mean, there's no sandwich clues left. So 1 and 9, apart from the top row. So 1 and 9 seem a lot less important than they did earlier. 3, 1, 8, 4, 2 in this column. This also can't be a 6 because 6 is in one of those cells. But it can still be 9, can't it? Oh no, hang on. 6 is there, so these aren't from... Those don't have a 6 in. So 6 is in one of these two. Can that be 6? Yes, if 6 goes in the corner here. How on earth do these get disambiguated, these 2, 4, 7s? How surprising it was that they're both the same. Now this, come on, maybe it's to do with this. Can't be 1 or 2 by Sudoku. It could be 3, 5, 6 or 8 to join on to this on the Renban. Can't be... It could be 6. If that's a 2, that would be 6. But if that's a 7, that could be 6. Totally missing something going on here. Oh, look, 8 is looking at that cell. That's what I'm totally missing. Right, now we know that 9 can't be here. There we go, simple enough. 9, 2, 6, 1 in the top row. Let's get rid of those corner marks. That now is not a 2, so that's not a... That doesn't change what that is at all. That's not a 2 though. So 2 in column 3 is there. 4, 7. These are from 3, 5, 8. 6 in the bottom row. We can do that. 1 in column 8. Now these are from 2, 3, 4. Gosh, the puzzle does not give up, does it? This is a 5, 6 pair. This, oh gosh, yes, we've got 1 of 8 or 7 there. So that's a 7, right. That is surely helpful. So this is now 3 or 5. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got, 3, 5, 8 across the top. So that's a 3, 5, 8 triple. So I can place 1 and a 6, 9 pair. That sees this 5, 6 pair. The 7 sees the 4, 7 pair. 4 in this row is there. This is a 3, 8 pair that I can fill in. That's not a 3, so we've got a 2, 4 pair there, so I can finish the column. That's 4, that's 2, that's 5, that's a 9. This has become a 3, 8 there, 3. Now, down here, I've only got a 7 and a 3, and that being on the Renban to disambiguate these two columns. No, I've used 4 there, so we've got 8, 7, 8, 5, 5, 6, 6, 9, 9, 2, 2, 4. That Renban has worked, that's good. 4, 3, and then we nip over for the last pair, 4 and 2, and that is a beast of a puzzle, not just because I needed to find 6, 6, 6 to finally figure out the hardest bit for me, but because that is brilliantly put together. What a clever construction that is. Thank you so much, Listesh, for sending that through. I really enjoyed it, although it took me an awful long time. Hope you had slightly better success with it. Thank you for watching us as always and following the channel. Hope to see you again soon.